So I was sitting at my desk one day, and I realized that I'm on the 40-40-40 treadmill. That's where you work 40 hours a week for 40 years to retire on 40% of what you were making. And I figured I can do this anywhere. About that time, my wife called. She was visiting Maui with her mom, and she told me Maui's beautiful. Let's move to Maui. So I told her to research it and find out what the most common pitfalls are that people don't make it here. And the most common pitfall was that people try to live the life here the way they were living on the mainland. I found that Maui will either welcome you with open arms or it will chew you up and spit you out. When I moved here, we only had one car. My wife worked in Lahaina. I worked in Kaanapali. And I had to catch the bus from my job down to her job to get the ride home. They charged $1 to ride the bus from Kaanapali to Lahaina. A lot of times the Hawaiian bus driver would just wave me on, not accepting $1 from me, but accepting me as part of the Hawaiian family.
I got inspired with diving when I was a kid watching the old TV series Sea Hunt. And where I lived, I was a block away from one of the largest swimming pools in the city, so I used to play sea hunt and stuff in the pool all the time over there. And one year we had a lifeguard that came in that was actually a diver, and he brought his scuba gear in, and he let some of us try it, and I was hooked from there. It'd be a number of years later before I actually got into diving. When I got out of the Army, a good friend of mine was a diver, and I saw him packing up his equipment, and I asked him, hey, where can I learn to go do this? And he had a friend that was a dive instructor. He introduced me to him, and 40-something years later, here I am. Back in the 70s, they were starting to do forced busing in the Los Angeles area to achieve integration, but we were achieving it naturally in the sport of diving. Okay, no one had to force us to be together. We wanted to be together. I also noticed that other walls came down of job titles, okay? If you were a doctor or you were a truck driver. If you were dive buddies, I could call my doctor dive buddy anytime, and he would put on hold whatever he had going in order to set up his dive for the weekend. This was more important than the title of being a doctor talking to a truck driver. When I first started, I saw a lot of diversity in diving, a lot of different groups of people, Asians, Mexicans, blacks, even whites, and there were groups of people. And what I noticed, the main thing I noticed was that your differences didn't matter. Everyone was a diver. Black, white, Asian, didn't matter, because we all had one thing in common. We were divers, and we wanted to promote the sport, do the sport safely, and learn as much as we could about it. So that was a crossover into, better things than school busing or anything else I could think of to get people together. There were a lower percent of minorities in diving, but they were there. With a lot of minorities, what happened is that the thought that this is expensive stopped them from doing something. But as someone explained, a doctor explained to me once upon a time, that if it's something you really, truly want to do, you'll find a way to do it. You won't let money be the stopping object of it. We're not as marketed to as much as others. The marketing usually is done in the geographic areas where people live. And scuba is not marketed that much in the minority communities. people aren't exposed to diving as much as they are to other things. The numbers would be higher if it was marketed more in the communities. Most white communities, the YMCAs or other organizations, offer scuba lessons. Very well, there's some in some large cities that offer it in the minority communities, but not as much as in the suburbs or other areas. Diving changed my life for the better. When I first got out of the Army, I was lost what to do. I didn't know what to do on the weekends, didn't have anything to do, and if it wasn't for diving, I probably would have been an alcoholic. Okay, it also, because of diving, I kept myself in better shape than I would have sitting around watching a football game on television. Instead, I was out doing something. And I got to meet a lot of great people. If I remember correctly, I could be wrong on this, that blacks make up about 23% of the U.S. population. But yet, in the field of recreational diving, we make up less than 2% of the dive population. So we have a lot of room for growth. And the only thing that's stopping us from doing it is that we need to get out and do it.